Oh no, my teacher's making me do another review for a game. What a travesty. Yeah, I choose Monster Hunter World. Let's flip and do this. So, what exactly is Monster Hunter World? Well, if you haven't heard of it yet, which, I don't know, I don't. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to not have, because seriously, this has gotta be one of Capcom's most sold Monster Hunter games so far. I think the last time I checked was like 8 million copies. It's probably more than that now. Anyway, Monster Hunter World. What's it all about? Well, the main premise in the game, the main focus, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna be doing, and what you're gonna be doing the whole time you're here. You're gonna be tracking down and hunting monsters. And that's about it. So, before you ask, no, you don't do anything else. You hunt monsters. You hunt monsters. You hunt monsters. And you capture a few monsters. But then you hunt some more. That's about it. You literally just hunt monsters. So, the game's not great on the story aspect. Of course, it has a story, and you have to complete the story to gain all the monsters. But the game's not here for the story. I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say the story's bad. By all means, it's not bad. But you're not coming to Monster Hunter World for the story. You're coming to Monster Hunter World for the glory of the kill, for the hunt, for the grind. And yes, this game is a grindy game. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be killing monsters to make stuff like this. And that's about it. Everything I have on right at the moment is gotten from some monster. I smacked it in the face a few times, and then I wore its head like a hat. I'm not joking. You want proof? Yeah. Did you think I was kidding? I hope you didn't. Anyway, you collect monster parts to upgrade your weapons and armor, to make more weapons and armor, so that you can go kill more monsters, get more monster parts, and that's it. That's the whole point of the game. Collect monster parts. All of these parts you're seeing here come from different monsters. Everything here comes from different monsters. Everything here drops is carved from or is captured from different monsters. Everything. Okay? Maybe with the exception of these. A few. I'm not saying all, but a few of these. And pretty much all of these come from monsters as well. I know that is. Anyway. So, what can you make with your monster parts? Well, you just saw I was over here at the smithy. What you can do with the monster parts you got is you can make... This is the basic armor that you're going to start out with. I should really take off that weapon, by the way. Yeah, this is the basic armor you're going to start out with. Your leather, your chainmail. Then you can go up to hunters, which I think looks... Oh, yeah, I should do this, actually. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Your hunters, which I think looks much better. Your bone is probably one of the better. It's probably best for beginners just because of the small amount of skills it gives you on all the pieces of gear. You'll get Vespoid before you'll get... you'll get Kestodon before you get Vespoid here. And then you'll get Jagras. I don't think Gajao comes till later. And Kulu. And then you'll just keep going from there all the way until you get through Brigade. What the? There's a low-rank Brigade? Wow. I didn't actually know this. Huh. You'll keep going until you get all the way down to your Diablos set here. And then by Diablos, don't worry about this guy, I'll talk about him later. And then by Diablos, you should already be in what's called high rank. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing much spoilers, but yeah. Here you go. There's a million monsters. There's not a million monsters in this game, okay? This isn't previous Monster Hunter. This is Monster Hunter, but it's not previous Monster Hunter. Anyway, there's a bunch of different monsters you can kill in this game, and all of them will give you some kind of unique, well, weapon or armor. What could I say without... Oh. Take, as one of the more unique weapons in this game, take this thing, for example. You can't get this from killing any monsters. Well, technically not from killing one specific monster and then craft it with that monster's parts. What you do to get this thing, I don't actually remember, actually. It's been so long since I made this thing. I don't even use it. I just made it for the lulz. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, wait, here it is. Master Craftsman Blueprint. Yeah, the really only thing you need is a Palumu wing, which... that's not much. That really isn't much. Oh, Rathalos Marrow. Yep. You don't even get this from being able to kill one monster. It's kind of just multiple monsters, but they're all lower tier monsters, with the exception of maybe Rathalos down there. So, yeah. There's some weapons that you don't even need you don't even get from monster parts, and this would be one of them. This, my friends, well, I tried it once. I can't really pronounce. I can't do it well. I'm not good. I'm not good enough for it. So I'm probably just gonna take a clip of the correct way to say it and just pop it right in here.
Rocket-powered greatsword.
But in the meantime, I'm gonna use this and probably get my butt handed to me. Anyway, the point of the game: go into the world, collect monster tracks, beat the ever-living crap out of everything that moves, collect resources, make weapons. That's how you play this game. That's the end of Scene 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scene 2, the storyline for Monster Hunter World. Storyline? Well, there is one. There's actually a story, unlike Warframe. It's every couple years. I think it's like 10. No, it's definitely not 10. 1,000? It might be close to 1,000. Maybe 100. Anyway, every so often, in like 20 lifetimes or 70, the Elder Dragons will migrate to the New World. And that is this place that you're seeing around me. Well, not this place. This is the canteen. Don't ask. Okay? Anyway, the Elder Dragons will migrate to the New World, and... well, I'm not going to spoil the storyline for you, so I'm going to shut up about that. But you're tasked with coming in and killing every single one of them. You're just killing every single one. And that's about it. Obviously, there are things you gotta do, like a siege battle that I'm gonna say is retardedly boring. I mean, you're just loading balls into cannon. You're just loading cannonballs into a cannon and then pressing one button to shoot it. That's the story, I guess. You're tasked with coming here, killing the Elder Dragons, and to do so, you have to kill your way up the food chain until you eventually kill the Elder Dragons and become, I guess, the Sapphire Star. So, I guess, on to Scene... Alright guys, we're here with Scene 3 with the weapons. Let's get right into this and get going fast. This is the Great Sword. It allows you to move really slowly while also dealing a whole crap load of damage. Basically, if you want to smack a monster in the face, this is one of the best weapons to kill it with. Next up, we got the long sword. This is a katana that's great. Used for tripping up your teammates if not used properly. Always aim this thing at the tail because it is great for cutting tails. You know, because it's a giant sword. Next up, we have the sword and shield. Sorry. This is the best beginner's weapon, sporting medium defense, medium mobility, and medium attack. It's basically the first gun you start with in Call of Duty. It's pretty good for just basically everything. Next up, we have the dual blades. fastest hitting weapons in the game. If you don't feel like a weeaboo while using this, there is something wrong with you. Then we have the hunting horn. This is essentially the hammer and your support character combined. This thing is greatly used when A, buffing your teammates, and B, knocking the monster to its butt. Then we have the here, sorry, I should have gone over this before I went over the hunting horn. This thing is great when it's at a monster's face. If you have a hammer user and he's not at the monster's face, then you need to tell that hammer user to get to the monster's face. Because if he's not KOing the monster. And if he's not KOing the monster, you can't get free damage without getting hurt. So, tell that hammer user to KO the monster. Next up, we have the gun, we have the lance here. This is your definitive defense weapon. If the person using this is not defending 99% of the time, then he's probably using this thing wrong. Just kidding, you can use the weapon however you want. But this is a defense weapon. Sports low mobility, medium damage, and high defense. Next up, we have the gun lance here. This is essentially for the people who want the lance, but with A, giant gun on the end of it, and B, to have a more attackier lance. The point of this weapon is be in the monster's face and constantly be exploding his face. If you don't act like Megumi from Konosuba, I think the anime is called, I don't remember, and exploding everything, then you're playing this weapon wrong. Just kidding, once again, you can play however you want. Next up, we have the switch axe. Well, this thing's all about doing this.
Exploding corpses! I like that one Gyros came to see what we were doing. Oh, go, 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 go!
Yeah! Right that face!
How do you like this face? It's a good face, right? But again!
But then again!
I got his tail!
We're just experiencing this Gyros on so.
The next weapon we got here is not that, is the charge blade. This thing is all about the amped elemental discharge. If you're not using this weapon to discharge the ever-living crap out of the monster, well, you're using it wrong. Just kidding. I say it again. You can use the weapon however you want. But, if you saw in the intro, I got a double kill with this thing. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Next up, we have my baby, the Insect Glaive. This thing is all about jumping around the monster and essentially being that annoying fly that won't get out of your ear. This thing is also one of the best weapons for mounting the monsters. When you're in the air, you don't do the greatest amount of damage, but you're consistent. You're always hitting, as long as you stay in the air and don't get hit out of the air. Next up, we'll move to the ranged weapons. This is the light bowgun. This gun is great for applying statuses to your weapons, sports high mobility, medium damage, and very low defense. It's not your best defensive weapon, but if you want to apply the status, maybe if you want to paralyze the monster, maybe if you want to sleep the monster, then it's great. There's a dog in the backyard, shut up! This is the heavy bowgun. This thing is great for just doing damage in general. If you wanted the great sword, but in a gun form, this is it. It's great for doing damage, and if you get a three mod slot shield on, I'll talk about that later, it can be a great defensive weapon. The final weapon on our list here is the bow. If you ever played Doom and used the super shotgun, this thing is, well, the super shotgun. You can be dancing around your opponent while always aiming at their head. That's the weapons for that's the weapons in Monster Hunter World. I should have included some clips in there about the weapons and all them. So, let's move on. If my character can look at the screen, please. Alright, let's move on. Alright, let's get right into the monsters, shall we? So, the monsters in Monster Hunter World. Okay, these things are something special. A YouTuber by the name Skilla, pretty sure I talked about him in my Warframe review. I'm taking this from him a little bit. He was talking to a game developer friend of his, and they were talking about Monster Hunter World and the monsters. The game developer said that he's never seen better monster AI in a game. I should have some video of me just watching a random monster, not even fighting it, just watching it. But the point is, the monsters in Monster Hunter World act like real animals, and that's amazing. You can actually see them walking around, marking their territories, eating, pooping, and just doing hunting even. In the game, you actually can you can follow around this monster called the Anjanath. It's like a fire-breathing T-Rex is what I like to call it. And you can actually see its hunting patterns. It's actually pretty cool. You can see where he goes to hunt. You can see where he goes just to sit around and do nothing. Seriously, at one point, he just sits down, flips his, like, wingy flaps up, and just sits there for a little bit. It's kind of cool. He's kind of just, sitting there, not doing anything. I mean, yeah, you're kind of just looking at a T-Rex sitting there doing nothing, but it's kind of cool just seeing him sit there. Because he looks really good sitting there. So, while you're actually in the fight with monsters, you can actually see, as they're getting closer and closer to death, you can see them, like, struggling and trying to fight for their lives. It gives the effect that, gives the illusion that they're actually real animals, that they have a place in this world. They all have a specific area on the food chain that they're in, and a few of the monsters even like to say, hey, I don't like the food chain. Let's break it a bit. There's a monster in this name. There's a monster in this name. There's a monster in this game. I'm not going to say his name, but for any of you who know him, you know him as the Green Pickle. Well, it's said in-game, it's the cutscene in-game, that his very purpose is to destroy the foundation of the food chain in the world. Now, I think that's just awesome, because there's an actual food chain. You can see who's at the top of it, who's at the bottom of it. Well, you don't even have to see, you can kind of just guess on your own. Let's talk more about being in the actual fight. So, of course, being in the actual fight with the monster, you're able to break parts off the monster. What that means is, if the monster has a long tail, you can cut it. If the monster has giant ears, you can break those. If the monster has just claws or anything, or giant teeth, you can break those off and get more materials. If I were to go into my monster field guide, maybe I'm doing that on screen, I hope I am, then I should be able to show maybe something on the Anjanath, meaning if I cut its tail off, I'll get these rewards, being maybe an Anjanath tail and an Anjanath gem if I'm in high or low rank. Which, if you don't want to play Monster Hunter World, don't worry about high rank. If you think about it, if you're thinking about playing it, then maybe you'll have to worry about it. But anyway, you can break parts off of the monsters, and that will actually, disable them, depending on the monster. I'm not gonna say his name, because, I know some people in the Monster Hunter community get mad or upset when someone says a monster's name. So I'm not gonna say this one's names, but most people know. But I'm just gonna call him the Flash for this, not because he's necessarily fast, but I'm gonna stop talking because, yeah. So, what you can do is you can break his ears off, and then he can no longer flash. It's kind of cool. I was actually farming him for some hide or some pelt or whatever it is to make his clothing, make his chest piece, and that's what I did every single time. I only, killed him. I only had to hunt him twice, and I captured him both times. But I broke his ears every single time, and that stopped him from being able to stunlock me. So, I thought that was really cool that you can actually do stuff like that. And you can get special rewards from it too. That pickle guy, if you break his head, he can actually drop what's called a scalp, and that's one of the main resources besides his gem in crafting his weapons. Because I find the scalps and the tail fangs being claws, I guess. I find those two being the hard resources to get. I know, for some of you who play Monster Hunter World, you probably think, really? The gem? Yeah, just for the people who've played this game before, I got like 6 gems one go. Like, what the crap? I got, I think 2 from carving his tail. Maybe it was either 1 or 2 from carving his tail. 1 from carving him, and then 2 from the quest rewards, and that was from 1 quest. So I got 5 in 1 quest. While I got another 1 from another quest. So, yeah. So I guess you could say that this game is a grind. It's definitely a grind. It's a looter. It's a grindy game. I'm not going to say it's a looter, because it's not really. But it definitely is a grindy game. But it's not. Unless you're going for gems, I find this game not to be that much of a looter. And you can kind of get just whatever you need. Like I said, I got everything I needed for 2 pieces of armor in 2 missions. I got more than enough, actually. Just because I captured. Speaking of capturing, if you can either hunt or you can capture a monster. Hunting's obviously more satisfying, but takes longer. Don't shut off. There we go. But capturing will say, okay, quest over. Here's more resources. But I know that you can only get specific items if you capture, and you can only get specific items if you hunt. I'm going to talk about a few strengths and a few weaknesses that I've written down that I think these games have. I've been studying, other people's reviews for a week now, and I'm going to give it a shot with stuff that I've found out. Alright? So, these are the weaknesses. This is stuff I kind of agree with and have seen myself. But we have unexplained mechanics. So, in the armory system, I can actually get up and show you this one. Alright, so in the armory system, once you get to endgame, you'll be in a thing called high rank, and you'll be able to do something called augmenting your weapons. What augmenting your weapons do is it allows you to throw a attack increase, a crit increase, a defense increase, a slot increase, or a health regeneration augment on your weapon. Okay, that was weird. Kinda just said, Kinda didn't want to work right there. Anyway, you fight these certain difficulty of enemies, and they'll give you these augment crystals, or these augment stones, as I'm gonna call them that. I'm gonna call them augment stones, and they will allow you to augment your weapons. And with augmented weapons, you can get increased crit chance, increased attack. Actually, I just went over them all. So, if I'm correct, I have an augment for this weapon. Yes, I can. I can put the health regen on it. Alright? So I could totally do that. In fact, I probably should, but I don't want to take that only gem that I have. I want at least one more, and then I might think about doing that. So, but that whole mechanic of augmenting, yeah, that's never explained to you until you actually get to the, It doesn't say, hey, maybe if you do this, you'll get something special. But once you actually get it available, it says, oh, hey, here you go. Here's this. This is what it does. It doesn't tell you that, you know, might be able to do this. Maybe if you find everything for it, I don't know. But over the time of me thinking about that one, over the small amount of time that I've had to think about that one seems more of a meh. It's not really an unexplained mechanic. It's more just, you know, get to it and it'll tell you what you need to know. Now this is something that most people, or I think most people in the Monster Hunter World community can agree with, but siege fights are kinda boring. The main siege fight in the game is I can't say it, but let me just say, it's kinda boring. Literally the only exciting bit is when you're, fighting the flagship monster on the monster's back. Other than that, it's just kind of boring. Yeah, you're just loading cannonballs into a cannon and pew, pew, pew. That's about it. You're loading arrows into a ballistica and pew, pew, pew. That's about it. There's a mounting phase. You can get on the monster's back and destroy a couple crystals. And, that's about it. So if you do decide to play Monster Hunter World off this, let me tell you this. During that siege fight, don't do what the game tells you to do. Just mine some ore. Seriously, just go around the area, mine some mining odes, you'll be fine. Seriously, it's pretty dumb. The siege fight's pretty dumb. Even the newest one that they've come out, I can't say the name, but I'm gonna call her the Golden Queen, for those of you who do know. She's a bit more interesting, but you have to get to the second area first. The first area is kind of just, this is dumb. This embodies everything you'll do at the beginning of the game, and it's dumb. It's boring, and it's not fun. So yeah. Okay. Other than that, I think the last thing I can explain is the hitboxes are sometimes the stupidest thing you'll ever see in your life. I don't have actual gameplay of this. I really wish I did. But I had a bow and arrow, and I ran up a tree. And while I was on the tree, this monster, I'm gonna call it the balloon bat. The balloon bat, yeah, I'll call it the balloon bat. It did its slam attack as I was running up the tree. So it hit the ground, and I'm like above it, and I get killed. I'm thinking, wait, what? What? There's even a monster in the game that has the title, one of its moves. Oh, that's watery. One of its moves. So, actually one of the moves that most monsters have in this game is called a hip check. It's when they just bop to their side. They kind of just bounce their hip to the side. That's about it. But one of the monsters in, I think the game was called Generations. Monster Hunter Generations. Either way. I don't remember its name, either. And I don't ever want to fight it because of its nickname. So the monster has been given the title of the legendary hip check. Basically, this thing can hip check you from across the map. Its hitboxes are retarded, and that's that. It's seriously, I haven't fought the monster myself, but I've seen people fight it, and its hitboxes are ridiculous. In fact, I can even put a clip of someone getting randomly, probably one of the dumbest hitboxes I've seen in this game. Just in this game. One of the dumber hitboxes I've seen. Yeah. It was against the Thunder Unicorn, I'm gonna call it that. That actually just describes it in a whole. Oh no, I need the Thunder one-shot WTF Unicorn. There we go. That describes it much better. Okay, that describes it much gooder. Yeah. See now? That thing ain't fun, especially arch-tempered. Don't worry about that. God, this is supposed to be spoiler-free. I'm giving so much away. Free spoilers. Oh my god. Alright, but World does a pretty good job of the hitboxes. I mean, I got flamethrower through a tree from a flippin' Anjanath one time. That pissed me off so much. And, well, let me just tell you this. I can only think of one strength for this game. The game itself is its own strength. The game is great. The weapons are better. The monsters are amazing. Everything about this game, I love it. Okay? There's way too much to do. I've been playing this game, I think, about almost... Actually, compared to most Monster Hunter veterans, I've been playing this game for, I think, 4 hours. 400 hours. Not 4 hours, Jesus. That'd be horrible. But 400 hours now. And honestly, I've heard people who've had more than 10,000 hours in this game. And I just think, oh my god, I want to be you when I grow up, man. I have a bedtime in school, man. Damn it. But anyway, people find so much to do in this game. And I do as well. I mean, there's a weapon that I wanted to try out, the Switch Axe. I've really wanted to actually get good with that weapon. But I haven't found a good build for it. But I actually think I did find a good build for it this morning. I just didn't have my phone to take a picture of it. Anyway, so just just a little heads up, those of you thinking about picking it up. The matchmaking is really bad. Getting into a server, I just set my pen down in water. Thanks, it'll look great. Whatever. Getting into a server is kind of dumb. Because at one point, it's going to say, oh, no servers found. You do the exact same thing. You go into search for server again. It's like, okay, we'll put you in, like, okay, there's 7 servers found now. You're like, what? Why? I hit the... whatever. Whatever. Okay? And the thing that always... Yeah, okay, so that doesn't bother me too much. But the thing that bothers me the most is staying in an online session. And you could just say, like, oh, your internet's bad, but no, this is a thing that's happening all over. Like, this is the thing that happens to a lot of people, apparently. But staying in an online session is kind of dumb. Really. Because you'll just get kicked out for no apparent reason, finish the quest solo, and, yeah. Then you'll go back in to get in another match, and it's saying no matches found, so... You do it again, and then it puts you in one. Yeah. Matchmaking and staying in servers is dumb. Alright, guys. So, this will be the final scene of the Monster Hunter World review. Hope you guys have enjoyed till now. This scene is my thoughts and my own opinions on the game. So, I love this game. Okay? I just love it. From the monsters to the brutality. Just, I love it. Okay? I mean, I have a pair of birds on my flippin' back. I have a pair of fluffy birds on my back. I mean, come on. That's awesome. Seriously, I can smack whatever I want with just a fluffy bird. That's awesome! Best part is, it might not do much damage, but it'll put them to sleep. Meaning I can get more damage. That is, if I have a great sword user. But that's not the point. The point is, this game is awesome. And, let me say this now. If you're not sure about getting it, try a free-to-play PC game called Dauntless. And that's all I'm going to say about it. It's a lot like Monster Hunter World, but there's less monster variety. And, I haven't actually seen that much on it, just the monster variety for the most part. But if you're not sure about Monster Hunter World, go ahead and check out Dauntless. It's a really good game. It's free to play, but it's only on PC, which kind of sucks. So, here I go with just some random things that have happened in-game. Thank you guys very much for watching this Monster Hunter World review, and I hope to see you guys. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Greatness of a warrior does not just lie beneath the sheet. It comes from